That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone, and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. But that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow!
Hello, welcome everyone to Retro Fandango, episode number 237, titled The Big Voxowski. But apparently that episode title is wrong.
No, well, a more appropriate title.
Oh.
I actually woke up quite early today. Felt pretty good. I was surprised I was wide awake, but I was laying there for a while. And then when I finally started to lift myself out of bed,
Yes.
I realized it is the bad Bakowski kind of day. I don't know what I did, but man, I'm having a hard time moving. Or you know, it's like you can move like 80% just fine, and then when you hit that 20%, back says no more.
Mm.
It was probably 2 days ago. I was doing a lot of yard work, so I probably did something then, and it's just lingering.
Yep. That's well, yeah. I was gonna say, like, right now I'm I'm sore from working outside. But it's like the good sore, you know, like all the muscles are sore. It's not like
yeah.
You back.
You just get a nice flex going on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like you know, you're in the shower. It's like, oh yeah, right. I did some work today.
You actually used those muscles for something.
Yeah, for a change. Now tomorrow I'll probably be dead. I'm probably not going to be able. Actually, like right now. So what we did last weekend, we took down 2 trees. We took down a birch tree that was about 10 inches around, or maybe around a foot, and then there was this bigger tree that was closer to like 16 inches round and fairly high, a big pine tree that had died. And I had my buddies over to help me clean it up, or to cut it down, sorry. And then I have a battery powered chainsaw, so that needed some recharging. That kind of slowed things down a little bit. And then it started to hail that day.
Really?
Yeah, we were getting pelted by hail. So that slowed things down as well. So we never got around to too much of the cleanup. And it kind of fell on Sarah and I to do it. But the weather has been so terrible throughout the week. And then finally the last couple of days it's been really nice. Like the last 2 days and today have been really nice, but it's just been myself that's been doing the cleanup. So, you know, I've been cutting these, you know, big pieces and then chopping them. And then today we did, like, I got Sarah out there to help me to do the branches and stuff like that. And even the branches, you know, they're, you know, 6-inch round, they're long and heavy. So I needed somebody to hold, you know, the branches while I cut them with the chainsaw. So now we have a bunch of wood that's piled out there. Like, it's just in a pile, you know, it's not piled, stacked properly, like how you should stack wood so it could dry. And I need to do that now, but I'm too sore to do it. And
well, what do you do with all that after you chop all that stuff up? Does the city take it away? You have to pay for it to be taken away?
No, I'm keeping it for myself to use for bonfires, or like, you know, just little fires. And like, we had fires in the back last year, and I didn't have a chainsaw. I didn't have any wood to cut or anything like that. And then so I was just going to Canadian Tire and I would buy like kindling and wood, and it's not that expensive to buy wood, but you know, $10 here, $10 there, you know, you do that a few times a year and you're spending like, you know, $60, $70, $80 throughout the summer on wood just to burn it away. So last fall, the chainsaw that I had my eye on, big battery powered chainsaw, went on sale at Home Depot. So I went and picked it up. And I cut up one tree that had fallen down in the back. And it was about, you know, about 8 inches round. It wasn't that big of a tree. Handled it, no problem. But then to do those two big trees, so there was one tree that was like the smaller tree was like almost the way it grew. It like kind of wrapped around the shed that I have back there,
All
and
right. Yeah.
I'm not sure why the previous owners just left it there because the branches and everything are hanging over the roof, which are bad. And birch trees are they're kind of like it's kind of like a piece of licorice growing out of the ground.
Okay.
They're very
Uh-huh.
wiry. Like the wind picks up on them and they'll start moving around. And you have those branches and everything. They'll drag on your roof or on the side of the shed, and they'll start wearing stuff away. It's not good to have those around
Right.
there. So I had to cut that down. And then there was that big pine tree back there that died. And I could see the ants were getting in it. These big black ants were getting in there.
Mhm.
And if you're going to cut down a dead tree, you want to cut it down as quickly as possible. You don't want to leave it because the more rotten it gets, the more unpredictable it will be when you want to cut it down, when you want to fell it, as the experts say.
Yeah, we've had some trees around here. Same thing. We realize it's dead. We get it cut down, and then because some of these trees are really big, we had to get the pros to do it. But they cut it down. Then the inside, you just
Yep.
have these like hollow tubes, just full of bugs and things.
Yeah, and it's very unpredictable because basically what you do is you basically cut like where the direction you want the tree to cut or fall, you cut a wedge in, and then you do a back cut from behind. And what you're relying on is there's like a piece of wood between your notch and where you're coming in with the saw on the other side. You're relying on that to have the tree fall a certain way. But if it's hollow on the inside or rotten or not sitting right, it could go any way on you. It could twist.
It could just crumble on you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not good. Plus the branches up there will rot as well. It's dangerous. It could fall on your head, So anyways, the tree was still solid, so that one fell okay. Surprisingly, I got the one that was wrapped around the shed to fall okay. I don't know how I did it. I had my two buddies there, and I was like, yeah, I just brought you over here so you could see how great I am at cutting down trees.
That is interesting. Someday I would like to cut
Derek.
down like a regular. Hey, Derek. Cut down a regular tree because I only ever cut down like bamboo, which is pretty thin and light. But there's just tons of it, so we have to do it every year. I was pretty proud of myself though because I employed that wedge technique on one branch because I went down to the bamboo area and realized there was a tree that had curved over. There's growing in this area. It had curved over a fence and was angled like very, very close to some wires. I don't know if they were power wires, phone wires, whatever. It was like, oh no, that's pretty bad. So I basically wrapped some rope around the tree, yanked it back so I could like straighten it out, tied it to another tree, cut the wedge, then kept pulling until the whole thing buckled and snapped and fell where I wanted it to go. It was awesome. It felt like I was in Predator when they're like setting all the traps and yanking those trees.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'm paying for it now. I've never experienced back pain like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not where I can't move or anything. It's just when you try to turn that certain way, and your body says, "No, you're not going to do that."
You should get a Dr. Hose. Like I was.
Oh yeah, Dr. Hose.
Dr. Hose works, man. It's not junk science. It's a real thing. It loosened my back right up. It felt a little weird after a while, but it loosened things up, and I was able to cut down trees and stuff. So
cut down trees, I eat my lunch, I go to the lavatory.
If Derek's still here, I was listening to, I think it was their last episode. It might have been the episode before the Not So Special podcast, and they were talking about the library and going to the library and library apps. I got some pro tips for those guys because they were looking for a certain book about Nicolas Cage. I actually should have went there to see if it was there, but they were using their local library. Oh, good, he's here. So they were using their local library in Kitchener, and I think their library uses either there's a couple of apps. There's Libby, and then there's another one. I can't remember the name of the other one. But if you can get into the Toronto Public Library, and somehow I'm still a member of the Toronto Public Library because I had worked in the Toronto area, so I was able to get a GTA library card, and you need to renew it every year. Hoopla, yeah, that's it. That's the one that they have here in Sudbury, and I don't know, it's not very good. But the app that they have in the Toronto library is Overdrive, and Overdrive is awesome. Now, the reason why the other libraries don't have it is because it is expensive. So you need a general population like the size of Toronto to pay for this thing. But if you get yourself a Kobo reader, you should be a member of libraries. You don't even live in, as far as I've heard. Yeah, I'm not sure if they would allow you into Overdrive. Like what they would make you do is, I don't know if it works for electronic books, but basically, like if you want a physical book, you have to go through your local library, and they'll bring the it's a whole thing. Anyways, if you can get into Overdrive, because I know that I had to do the whole like I work from like I don't know, maybe find a friend that has like a somebody that lives in the GTA that you can use their address or use their library. Like they can get a library card and you might be able to use it. Anyways, you get yourself a Kobo reader or even just a tablet or whatever, and you can download EPUBs right to the reader. You don't have to go through any sort of software on a PC or anything like that or anything third party. If you want to put on an eye patch and go through the eye patch way, there's a site, I don't know if you guys know of it, but it's called Library Genesis. And Library Genesis is kind of like a website that takes from all sorts of different libraries all over the world, and there's all sorts of books in Library Genesis. So that might be worth checking out to see if they have your Nicolas Cage book in there. So there's my library pro tip for you all.
Libraries for nerds.
Well, I'm reading right now Geddy Lee's book from Rush, man, and that thing is, whew, man, that's something else. It's a good book so far.
I wish I had a local library that I enjoyed going to.
They don't have libraries in Japan?
Oh, well, if you want an English book, you're out of luck.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, you could try Library Genesis, and you can download stuff right.
I want Genesis.
Yeah.
I got books right here. Look at this. I got Aesop's Fables.
Oh, nice.
I got The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Suicide Club. I got 1984. I got Journey to the Center of the Earth. I got all my books here.
Nice. Yeah, Toronto has, Derek says they have specific rules to be a member. I just checked their website. Yeah, like basically libraries want you to use the local library. So you can take out books from the Toronto library. If there's a book, like a physical book that they have that you want, you can go to your local library and you can ask for them to bring deliver it, or you can borrow it from other libraries. Sarah does it all the time. So they might have it in physical form, but if you want a digital one, check out Library Genesis, or try to get a Toronto library card. It's good. So yeah, like you renew the Toronto library card online, but they had a big data breach last year, so your ability to renew online has gone away. They used to never let you renew online before the pandemic hit. Once the pandemic hit, then they made it so you could renew online. But they had a big data breach last year. Can't renew online. So they just I don't know. My card expired in 2024, but I just borrowed that Geddy Lee book last week. So everything still works. So I'm hoping that I get some sort of notification or something like that when the ability to renew comes back, because I don't want to lose that. It's just so handy, Taking out books is fun, Richard. Come on.
Hey, if I had them around me, I would do it. Hey, you got a bunch of those old Star Trek like novels and stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
What kind of condition are they in?
I mean, when I get them, I generally look at the front cover, and that's what I go for. So sometimes the spine is a little got the lines on
Yeah, well,
them
I mean, I could take the
broken.
spine. It's just like all of my books, and granted, these are older books. I've probably had these for like 30 years or so, but all my paperbacks have that like
Oh,
yellowed, like,
oh yeah,
ooh. And I'm
yeah.
just wondering, like, did I keep them in a bad spot? Is it just because they're cheap paperbacks? Like, how
Probably
long do
because
these
they're
books
cheap.
last?
Probably because they're cheap paperbacks.
Because I
Like
have
you're look.
some books that are in decent shape, even though I've had them in with the other book for a long time. But then some of them just have that like yellowed edges of the pages.
Mm.
Then others are perfectly fine. They look like they just came off the shelf, like brandy new.
Okay, so
Wow.
here are the rules for the Toronto Library. You have to live, work, own property, go to school in the Toronto, in the Toronto, or live on a First Nations reserve in Ontario. So there you go. Find yourself a member of the First Nations and get them to get you a library card for you. Friends helping friends. It's great.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
on the subject of Canada, I got a Canada question for you.
I love Canada questions because sometimes I can answer them.
All right, well, check this out. I bought myself some Canada cookies. Found this at my
I
local
I think
supermarket.
those are maple cookies. I don't know if they're Canada cookies.
No,
But
they're Canada cookies.
okay.
They misspelled it though. It says MAPLE. B&B, or is it BEB? I don't know this brand. Maple cookies made with real maple syrup, made in Canada.
Okay.
You're unfamiliar with this?
I've never seen that before. I have had
Oh
and
yeah, I've
enjoyed
seen
maple
like any
cookies.
number of different manufacturers that produce this
Yes.
particular maple leaf shaped cookie with a maple syrupy creamy center.
Mm-hmm.
My question, I guess you can't answer it though. The cookie on the package is just a maple leaf with little lines on it, but the actual cookie has the word dare written across it, DARE.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, well, it's not on the package.
Uh,
What's up with dare? Is that some
well,
sort of like Canadian
yeah.
manufacturer, or I thought it was like an Oreo thing, or like, what is
No,
it?
it's
Dare
it's it, it's we Canadians are daring the rest of the planet.
to try to
Come
eat your
on.
food?
Are you ready to go? You want to go? Let's go. You want to steal our cookies? Dare you. No, yeah, no, it's a brand name. Dare's a brand name. So they must just have the press from Dare, the stamp from Dare, or Dare ships
Okay.
them out and then they get repackaged in Japan, you know,
Oh yeah, sure.
because you probably have
Yeah.
different regulations on the box and what needs to be printed on there than in Canada. That happens all the time here. Like we get tons of stuff imported from the United States and it's repackaged in Canada because we have to have français on there and all that stuff. So,
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah,
there
you
you
might
go.
have a point. You might have a point.
Uh, Creepy
My
Josh
neighbor
says
worked.
Dare is a brand. It's actually located in my city. Well, there you
Hey, there we
go.
go. Wow, I'm glad I brought this up.
And Derek says that his neighbor worked for Dare for years. Look at you
Ah,
making connections. And Sauce is
there
here
you
as
go.
well. Okay, well, while we got those two guys here, I might as well just jump right to this. 'Cause
Uh-oh.
I got myself a box,
Uh-oh.
an
Kevin's
unopened
on the
box.
VHS kick now.
there there might be a VHS in here actually.
That box looks so light and hollow. What do you possibly have in there?
Oh, maybe it rotted out from the inside. Maybe some ants.
Rotted.
Yeah, maybe some ants got in there. Actually, there might be some rotted things in here.
Okay.
So as you know, I have been collecting the HD DVDs,
Yes.
and Creepy Josh down in Southern Ontario has been nice enough to keep an eye out for HD DVDs for me. And every once in a
Hmm.
while, over on the Discord, he'll send me a message, and it'll be just an image of HD DVDs, and it's like, okay, which ones don't I have? And so he'll pick up the ones I don't have, and I'll throw some money his way for his, so he's compensated. And this has been going on for a few months now, and they keep piling up. And in the meantime, the stuff that he has found me, I kind of find doubles of, but I don't know if I should buy them or not, because he's got me a copy. See, like, this would be simple if every HD DVD just worked nicely. If it was like any other format and it would just work, it'd be no problem. But the problem is that HD DVDs are notorious for suffering from disc rot. So you have to, when you buy it, you have to like put it in a machine to see if it works, to make sure it works.
Right.
So I find these out in the wild. It's like, do I buy them again in case the one that he has? So anyways, the plan was that he was going to hand them over to me during the next Sperry Game Exchange, which unfortunately I will not be able to attend, but I believe it is on early May, when my mom will be here. Anyways, so I got him to ship me the HD DVDs, and he added a few things in here.
Oh, sure. Surprises. Maybe it's some Dare cookies.
I know. That'd be something. I know a few things that are in here, but what do you say? Shall we open it up and find out what's inside?
Tear it up.
All right. So that's why I was saying, like, there might be something rotted in here, because some of the HD DVDs might be rotted, but they've been pretty good so far. Now that I said that, I'm going to jinx myself, but all the ones I watched here worked perfectly. Okay, so you nailed it. Oh no, I'm in trouble. So there is a VHS in here. Can you guess what the VHS is?
Well, knowing you, you already have Ghostbusters, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do have Ghostbusters, but I don't have Ghostbusters in the big family clamshell.
Ooh, look at that.
So there you go. So
Does
this
that
is
have French on it? It's not the SOS Phantoms?
I don't see any French on here. So this might have had, what they would do is they would put like they would put it like a Canadian
like a little slip cover kind of thing?
Yeah, over top, and then they would shrink wrap it again. So when you go to open it, like, it would be shrunk wrapped twice. But there it is. There's Ghostbusters.
Hey, look at that.
In the family.
Hey, nobody was Be Kind rewinded that tape.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that? I guess they just got to they got to the end of the movie. And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to rewind that. But there we go. So we had a little discussion on Discord too on like how is this part of the family collection? Because this is like a raunchy SNL movie from 1984. But I guess
well, families were different back then. They could take a little more.
I guess so. Like Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 originally came out in this packaging on VHS. I remember it because I wanted it, and it was really expensive, like $99 back when it first came out in 1980 or 1990, I guess it would have been.
Well, it depends on when this was released. I mean, they had a cartoon show to promote, so
this, I believe, this packaging. This is 1996. I was going to say it's from the 90s because I remember seeing this in the store in the 90s, packaged like this. So
yeah, who didn't watch Ghostbusters as a kid? It's absolutely a kid's movie.
Well, would you put it under the banner, the family collection? Like, would you recommend to a lot of families?
I watched it with my family. I watch it with my kids.
Okay. Times
it's
are
just
different.
Those couple of scenes that you just pretend you don't see, but then
listen, I agree.
Nobody asks you what's going on.
I agree.
I
was raised where I watched everything. It didn't matter what it was. My parents were anal about so many things. Like, you can't play video games. You can't have a life. You got to do everything I say, But when it came to watching movies, they didn't care. They were just like, yeah, watch whatever. We don't care. And my sister and I, we used to go around. We'd say, like we watched Coming to America, and we go around, the royal penis is clean, Your Majesty. Like, that was our inside joke, and nobody cared. But even my sister now, like, I'm sure, I think her 10-year-old has watched Ghostbusters, but the 8-year-old hasn't. Because they're worried about all the language and the sexual thing. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm not judging. You do whatever you want. All right. There we go. We got. Oh my goodness, things are packed tight in here. we got? We got another model kit.
Hey, what is that?
So this is a Camaro, 1967 Camaro Z28. This looks like a nice kit. I wonder where he got this. This has all the chrome on it and everything, the chrome bits.
Is that just a standard car, or is it some sort of movie reference?
No, just a standard car.
Okay, because I only understand movie cars.
Well, I'm sure this was in a movie. I know that in Better Off Dead, he had a Camaro, but I think it was a 69 Camaro. I'm not sure if it's a 67 Camaro. But that's cool. Thank you. We got a CD in here. Oh, wow. Richard's going to be jealous of this. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
I got the soundtrack for Star Trek 5.
Hey, nice.
Is that Horner? Did the Horn do this one?
I don't know if he was on by 5.
Oh no, it's Jerry Goldsmith. It's Goldsmith. That's right.
Jerry Goldsmith did the motion picture, didn't he?
I'm not an expert on.
I think he did the motion picture, and then James Horner took over for maybe 2, 3, 4 or something like that.
Yeah, because those horns. The horn was known for the horns, and they stand out. Okay, I think that's it for that kind of stuff. The rest is all HD DVD. Okay. We'll get. Oh man, there's some good stuff in here. I forgot. There's some really good stuff in here. So we got the Road Warrior.
Hey, nice.
That's a good.
That's the one I have, except the Blu-ray. But that's the cover.
I actually have this on Blu-ray as well, but I'll watch it on HD DVD. Got the Superman the movie.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I
don't know if you're paying attention to these comments, but half the stuff in your box were garbage finds.
That's okay, except for the HD DVDs, I'm guessing. Unforgiven.
Good one.
That's an excellent movie. It's funny because I had this on DVD, and my buddy Frank was asking if I had Unforgiven, and I said I got it on DVD. So he went and bought it on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. I was helping my stepfather move, and he had a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff in a box, and I went and looked at it, and most of it was stuff I had, except for Unforgiven. So I'm like, hey, I told Frank, hey, I got Unforgiven on Blu-ray. He's like, I just bought it. And now I got it on HD DVD. Look at that.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
Was that sticker saying 2 for 10 on a lot of those?
Yeah, 2 for 10. Right. That's back when they were new. I think.
Oh, those are sealed.
Yeah. New. A lot of people didn't open them. So this is another sealed one. Babel with Brad Pitt. I remember watching it back in the day. What do we got here? Well, I've always wanted to see this. The Black Rain with Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I see that DVD all the time, but I've never picked it up.
And I had no idea Andy Garcia was in it. I guess he wasn't Andy Garcia yet when this movie came out. 1989? I'm not sure. All right. I have no idea what this is. Freedom Writers with the Swank.
Freedom Writers, yeah, that's one of after Hilary Swank started winning Oscars, she did a bunch of movies that nobody saw.
Well, I haven't seen. I totally forgot that was in there. I just looked at I think he just showed me the spines, and I was like, any movie I didn't have, throw it in there. We got Elizabeth, the Golden Age.
I've never heard of that one.
Starring Cate Blanchett, Jeffrey Rush, and Clive Owen. I like Clive Owen.
To be trash.
All right. Might be. I got to put that up. There we go. To be trash. Maybe that should be the banner.
I miss that phrase. I miss Tubi. I can't get it anymore.
Now, unfortunately, I have seen this movie before, but this would get me major points on the ABC challenge, the not so special ABC challenge. But I got the 2-disc special collector's edition of Face Off.
Oh, look at that.
Nicolas Cage.
Well, that has to be a 2-disc set.
It has to be. Let's see. It's a 2-disc.
Do they
Yeah,
put
we
their
got
faces on each disc?
that would have been cool. They just kind of did like the two. Oh, piece of
Okay.
plastic fell out of there. That would have been cool.
I'm surprised he let that one go.
He doesn't have HD DVD. You don't need that. I got Full Metal Jacket, the Stanley Kubrick film.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I know you don't like it, but
I need to rewatch it. I do. I did like Lee Emery in that movie. He was
he's
amazing.
great.
Got The Shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
Never saw that one.
I just watched a Mark Wahlberg joint the other day.
The Transformers movies.
I have the
Ed.
Hey. Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, I've no, it wasn't that one. No. I got Dreamgirls with Eddie Murphy.
Okay. Yeah, I heard he was really good in that one. He got nominated for an Oscar.
I think so. Yeah. And isn't Jennifer Hudson? Oh yeah. Jamie Foxx, Beyonce Knowles, and Eddie Murphy, and introducing Jennifer Hudson.
She won the award for that.
It says, yeah, introducing Academy Award winner Jennifer Hudson.
There you go.
Hudson. Just a few more here. We got Breach.
I don't know what that is.
With it looks like a thriller with Chris Cooper, Ryan Philippe, and Laura Linney.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Might be good. Who knows? I haven't seen it. Okay. Oh, we got Firewall with Harrison Ford and
Who's that in the back? Oh, Paul Bettany. Yeah.
Paul Bettany. The Paul Bettany. Who's that? Was he in? He looks like the guy in Oz.
Paul Bettany is the guy that married Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. I still don't know who he is.
He was Jarvis in Iron Man.
Oh, okay, that guy.
The Vision. He became a real person.
Can't get away without having at least you got to have two Mark Wahlberg movies. So we went with the Italian Job. The original's better than this one. We got The Kingdom, more Jamie Foxx, more Chris Cooper, and more Jennifer Garner. Okay, we have the tie-in film to one of the greatest sci-fi shows. I think you were lukewarm on this sci-fi show, but it might have been built up for you. But we got the Serenity.
I enjoyed the show. I thought the movie was a little off.
Okay, you didn't like the movie. Okay, and finally, let's see. You'll get this in 2 seconds. Forget it. I'll just tell you. The thing.
Hey,
the classic. The thing.
There you go.
So there you go.
So what does that bring you up to? What's your tally with HD DVDs now?
Oh boy, that is a question I would have to research a little to find out. I'm not sure. I'll let you know on the next episode of Retro Fandango.
Okay. That's pretty neat.
And I'll just while I got those guys, thank you so much, Josh. That was really really nice of you to do that. And I did hear your talk about the movie Pig, and I disagree. There you go.
Well, while the not so special guys are here, I'll just mention that I'm currently sitting on a score of 82 points for my NSSABC challenge. I still need a U and an X, and then I can start on the numbers.
A U and an X. Those are tricky ones.
Well, X, I still plan on doing the what is it? X-Men Dark Phoenix. I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay.
And U, I kind of have my heart set on Undercover Brother, starring Eddie Griffin, if I can get a copy of that. Because I recently went back through the Austin Powers movies, and I remembered that, they tried to do that with Eddie Griffin and make like another spy parody kind of movie.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. All right, let's see.
Oh, hey, I love Undercover Brother. Does that count as a recommendation? Does that mean I get bonus points if I do
It
it?
should. It should. Look at you, you moving shaker. Okay, here's my ABC challenge. I don't know how to make that smaller or bigger. If I do
I can
it.
see it.
Oh, okay. That too big?
Oh, it works. American Gangster, Beowulf, Constantine, Disturbia, Erin Brockovich, Failure to Launch, The Good Shepherd, The Heartbreak Kid, The Interpreter, Justice League: The New Frontier. Is that a cartoon?
It is. Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 4. Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Went to the theater to see that.
The Last
He's
Samurai,
your nephew.
Mobsters, No Reservations, Out for Justice, Pig, The Quick and the Dead. Oh, I haven't seen that one either. The River, The Skeleton Key. Wow, you're going in order too.
Somewhat.
Transformers.
I wouldn't say all of this was done in order. I got you and me Dupree down here as well.
Okay.
So yeah, with Pig. So this is what I was going to do. I was kind of getting cocky, and I was going to do an HD DVD list, and then I was going to do a DVD list, and then I was going to do a Blu-ray list.
Wow.
And then when I punched in Pig down here, it came out to 5 points because you get 2 extra points for doing a Nicolas Cage movie. So I'm like, maybe I should just go for points and just have punch in the Blu-ray. So I look at my list as like a living, breathing list, right? It's not like I punch it in there and I can't change things. I can go in and improve it. So I do have a line, if you will, to Nicolas Cage movies, because my buddy Frank he's like as obsessed about Nicolas Cage as Josh and Derek are, and he has a bunch of their movies on Blu-ray as well. So I can go over there and maybe up some of these 4s from HD DVD to a 5. I just want to mention the Quick and the Dead movie. Q is a hard one to get, but that Quick and the Dead movie is not the Sam Raimi film. It is a movie with the same name starring Sam Shepard. Is that his name? Do I got his name right? No, not Sam Shepard. Sam Elliott. That's it. Starring Sam Elliott. It's a Western from the late 80s. But anyways, there you go. I'm up to 87 points so far.
87. Oh, okay.
87. How many points did you say?
Oh, wait. Actually, yeah. Actually, hang on. 2 of my points don't count yet because they're numbers, and I don't get access to those until I finish my letters, right? So technically, I have a score of 80, and I have seen 94 first-time films this year.
Wow. Okay, so Josh says, yeah, he confirms you can always change to increase points. He does it too.
Yes, I've updated when I've caught something on DVD instead of Blu-ray or something like that.
And technically, his or Derek's recommendations is supposed to be on the podcast, but he said he'll give it to you. So,
well, yeah, if you during your next podcast, just say Undercover Brother is a recommendation, then I'll be in the goods. I'd still have to purchase a copy. Well, I could show all my movies if we're in a movie mood, because I picked up a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm ready to receive.
All right. Well, here we go. These are all things I ordered in. I got a copy of Spartacus.
Oh, nice.
I never realized Kirk Douglas has such a prominent dimple in his chin.
Yeah, he's got the Chevy Chase
stands out.
Chevy Chase thing going.
I got a copy of the Monster Squad. I don't know if you've ever seen this one.
Is that with?
It's Goonies with monsters.
Okay, I know of this movie, but yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I'd say think of it a little bit more like very crass Goonies.
Where that's even better.
There's some language that don't fly in modern society.
Would that movie, would Monster Squad be part of the family collection? Columbia
back in the day, it absolutely would have been because it's a kid's movie.
Wow, there you go.
But you gotta watch out. They drop some of those words. Very, very. Oh, actually, you know who it was? Jason Hervey,
Oh, okay.
from the Wonder
Wayne.
Years.
Yeah, Wayne.
Wayne, yeah. Well, he was in everything in the
Is it?
80s. He's in
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's in Back to the
Back to the Future.
Future.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's in a lot of these things. I upgraded my DVD to a Blu-ray for Enter the Dragon.
I got that too. That's a good. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but it's a good find. I hope.
This just came in yesterday. I got my Tremors Attack Pack.
Oh, so what
Because,
movies do you get in there?
Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Which I really like because it has the original cast on the cover, not
Mhm.
like Michael Gross standing there with a rifle. There was an option. I could have gotten another version that had 5 movies for just like 99 cents more, but I didn't want the newer movie. So this just has the original 4, which is nice because I only had the original on Blu-ray, so now I can watch Tremors 2 on Blu-ray, which I find very entertaining.
Okay. Well, I only have the first movie, and I'm good. I got the
I
first
actually have
movie. I got the first movie in 4K.
I have 4 copies of the first movie now.
That's close.
4K, yeah, that's interesting. These I picked up on a whim. I don't know if Steven's out there, but Puppet Master 1 and 2.
Oh, that's so funny. Because Frank, I have it here. Yeah, okay. We went to Giant Tiger, and they have movies there. They have movies on DVD there, and he found a collection of Puppet Master. It was like Puppet Master 1 through 6. I'm gonna
They
say.
had, I think there are probably close to 12 or more Puppet Master movies.
I'll
in
have
the
to ask him to get a clarification, but it had a lot of Puppet Masters, and it was all on one disc. I'm like, how?
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, how was the quality? He's like, it wasn't very good. The quality was not very good. And he said the 4th or 5th movie, it's just clips of the older movies. It's not a movie.
Wow.
It's called
Yeah,
like
these
Puppet Master 5, but it's just everything that happened in 1 through 4.
these are really, really cheap, uh, low quality movies that I would say the biggest thing I could say about them is they're boring. They're
Yeah, he said
just
he didn't find them that good.
they're really, really boring. They don't explain anything about like why this is happening. Why are these puppets attacking people? I was going to say within the first 2 movies, there might be about 3 minutes combined of actual like interesting footage where they have like stop motion animation of the puppets doing stuff. But no, it's pretty
Mm.
it's pretty weak. This I was happy to find, and it's still sealed, brandy new. I got the first season of Ash versus Evil Dead.
Nice.
Now I really have to try to hunt down seasons 2 and 3.
That's the only problem with finding a season.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant because I know there's like a complete collection, but the prices I'm seeing around here are kind of ridiculous for
Yeah.
importing those things. So that one popped up. It was kind of cheap, so we'll see. In the same bundle, same person I got that from. I got a Kevin movie here. Bridge on the River Kwai.
Yeah.
And look at that. Look how fat that case is. Look at that.
Oh, I like girthy Blu-rays.
It's a collector's edition. There's little
Nice.
postcards and things in here. Blu-ray DVD disc of the film, 32 pages of on-set and behind-the-scenes photography, content from the original 1957 souvenir book, 12 replicas of the original theatrical lobby cards. Those are.
Oh my goodness. Can I
one.
find this on Amazon? Where do I find this? I have the movie on 4K, but I don't have that.
4K.
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 I don't have that version.
Okay, and I was on a bit of a horror movie kick, so I picked up a few of these. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I think I've seen that around here a few times.
It's not as good as you think it might be.
I don't think it's good.
Well, you'd think it'd be a little fun,
Okay.
But mostly it's people in clown costumes, and they move really, really slowly.
How much did you pay for that Bridge on the River Kwai?
I got that pretty good for about I'd say the equivalent of about $8 or $9.
Oh man, they have it here on Amazon for $26.72. Hmm. Maybe I'll just put that on the wish list and see if it drops at any point, because I already have the movie. I don't need another copy of it.
Oh, you're just buying cardboard at this point then.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Killer Clown. Yeah, you know what? I think Killer Clowns, if I watch that again in a year or two, I might enjoy certain aspects of it a little bit more. I will comment that one of the actors looks like a young Steve Carell and kind of gives a similar performance. He's, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I also got the original Hellraiser.
Okay.
I was very surprised to see Andrew Robinson.
Did you
as from DS9? Garrick. Garrick. He was also the Scorpio in Dirty Harry.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm pretty sure he was in Charlie Varick with Walter Matthau, which is a fantastic movie, very underrated film.
Another one.
But what the heck did you just buy? Wait, what was? Oh yeah, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Did you? So you watched it? Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
And hold up? Good? Bad?
I enjoyed it. I had never seen it before. I know Duke mentioned not too long ago that he had watched it for the first time and he did not like it. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but I think that there are certain parts that feel a little paced a little oddly, but overall I thought it was pretty fun. There's some great. Hey, Duke!
Look at that. His ears were ringing.
Speak of the Hellraiser, and he will appear. Yeah.
Because I had picked that up on DVD not too long ago, and I remember Duke saying that it wasn't very good, so I haven't really watched it. But now
there's some pretty fun gore stuff in there. There's a lot of creative imagery, but yeah, it's one of it's one of those movies that if I wait a little while, go back and watch it again, I think it'll sink in a little bit more.
Okay.
Love the effects, great effects, definitely. And then this was my Z for the challenge. I had never seen this one either. Zombie, we are going to eat you.
What a title.
Yeah, it's great. This one was pretty fun too. Definitely low budget. But this is the movie where I don't know if you ever heard that weird meme of shark versus zombie.
No.
There's a zombie versus a shark at one point in the movie.
Duke says, and I'm guessing Hellraiser, the weird uncle sex stuff was off-putting.
Well, yes. I mean, it is a horror movie. It's not supposed to make you feel cute and cuddly inside. But yes, sometimes that sort of stuff does come across a little weird. At least everyone was of age.
Okay.
At least.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah. Well, and then here was the other potential show title. This I was very happy to pick up. I did buy some DVDs. I got the Star Wars. I got the Empire Strikes Back, and I got the Return of the Jedi. What's so special about that? It's the limited edition.
Okay.
These were the ones that they put out in 2006 for just a short period of time that include the original theatrical cuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you watched them?
Well, I checked them out to make sure they worked and everything, and yeah, it is the postage stamp.
Yeah, it's low quality. Like George
Lucas, very low quality. Yes.
Here you go, fans. I'll give it to you. I'll give it what you want. There, take a look at that. It was almost like he was trying to say the new versions are better. This is my proof that the old versions are horrible.
Yes. Basically, that's what it was. Him, after like a decade or so of people just complaining and complaining, where is it? fine. You can't say I didn't give it to you. You can't say it's not
Yeah,
on
yeah,
DVD.
yeah.
You can't say that it's better than the other versions.
Mm.
So you got like 2.0 sounds. It's the postage stamp.
It's literally the
Tons of
letter.
visual noise.
It's the THX, like the VHS THX versions of the film that came out on VHS in like 1996 that were ported onto those DVDs.
Yeah, so if you want to watch it, absolutely the despecialized editions, that's the way to go. But I don't know, I was very happy to have it on a physical disc to make me feel a little better about watching the despecialized editions, like at least the
Well,
film.
I still
Plus,
have
there's some really
those.
neat artwork on the
There
insides.
was, yeah, some
There's
pretty
some
good,
like really
decent artwork.
cool things like in there.
I still
like that.
have the ones that we downloaded when we did the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I still have my preservation
Yeah,
copy
that's
of
right.
that as well.
So if I ever get an itching to watch them, then that's my go-to.
Yeah, but I was happy to pick these up just so I can say I have them, and if I like putting the disc in and watching a movie, so
Sure.
sometimes
Yep.
that's how you want to go. Uh, that's it. That's everything I brought with me.
Cool. Okay. Well, I got some movies here too.
More movies. You just
I
did a
do.
box.
Well, I just wanted to. I keep forgetting to mention this, so I made a note. Do you remember when I got my OLED television and I was going through all the steps and everything to get what I could say was like the best quality image out of the screen, and I had to go in and mess around with all the settings, and I spent the whole week just trying to get it 100% right. I would say like about a month after I did all that, we were watching movies and watching TV shows and all that stuff. And I realized at some point, I don't know exactly when, but at some point, the television went back to the default filmmaker mode. That's the mode that like is being endorsed by like Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg and a bunch of Hollywood people are getting more manufacturers to put filmmaker mode into modern televisions because they're sick of seeing people watching their films and having that soap opera effect and all that stuff. And I didn't like it initially because it basically they put like a fake flickering in there to give you the illusion that it's like a film,
Being
that's
projected.
being projected. And I found it very distracting. But at some point it automatically changed, and I watched I don't know how many hours of television, and I never even noticed. And then when I stopped and I looked at it, okay, now I can see it, but when I'm not thinking about it, I don't notice. So I just carried on with the filmmaker mode, and it's fine. I've been watching like everything for the past few months in that mode. And if you're not thinking about the flickering and you just allow yourself to watch the film, it's absolutely fine. So with that said, I just wanted to say if you are thinking of getting an OLED TV, make sure it has that filmmaker mode in it, and you'll probably be fine.
Gotcha.
There. Okay. Now I got that off my chest.
Show us the movies.
Sauce was on that episode with
That's Duke.
Oh yeah, that's right, Duke. With the Star Wars. That's right. Okay. So movies. Well, I kind of mentioned I'll just go with these movies because I kind of mentioned them already before. I was like doing the HD movies for the ABC challenge. So I did watch Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf.
Does he do movies anymore, or is he gone from the scene?
I don't know. I went so long without watching a single Shia LaBeouf movie, and now I watched the Transformers, and I've seen this one. I've seen about 3, I think, Shia LaBeouf
You've
movies.
seen the Indiana Jones he was in.
That's right. That was so I saw that one, and then he was in some indie film that was nominated for some Academy Award a couple of years ago. He was like like he was like a supporting character, and he wasn't Shia LaBeouf. He was actually playing a character.
Oh, he was in. Didn't you see Constantine? He was in that.
That's the other one I saw recently.
Okay.
Anyways, Disturbia. It is a bit of a ripoff of the Hitchcock movie Rear Window, but it's really just the concept that they take, where he is inside of a house and he sees stuff going on around the house, and he's spying with glasses, and he thinks he sees a murder, and nobody believes him. Blah blah blah. All those kind of same tropes from Rear Window. But this is terrible. It is. It's kind of part teenage sex raunchy comedy kind of thing, because a lot of the times he spends spying on the girl next door who he's attracted to, and he has like a sidekick that's with him that he come on over, she's going in the swimming pool, and like nothing that they do is really all that funny. And then the whole thriller part of the movie, where he thinks he sees a murderer across the street, it kind of wasn't all that interesting. Didn't even make too much sense. I can't remember what he did at the beginning of the film. He had some sort of infraction or something like that, and
I do know that I've seen maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes of that movie, and I remember that he had like an ankle bracelet.
Yeah,
So he wasn't allowed to leave the house, and his mom turned off his Xbox Live.
Yeah, I can't remember why he was sentenced to a house arrest, but it made no sense, because he was a young guy. I think he was playing an 18-year-old in the film. And why would you put a young guy like that under house arrest while he's going to school, while he's make him do community service, put him to work, make him go to summer school and pass the
They
courses.
needed a reason for him to be stuck in that.
Dumb reason. It's a dumb reason. Come on, lazy writers, come up with something better than that. It was stupid. Anyways, I don't recommend the Disturbia, but there's that one. Okay, so watch that one. Where did I put my rest of my movies? Watch this dumb movie, You, Me, and Dupree. Yeah, so this movie,
the things you do for the challenge.
I know, and this thing, there's nothing funny in this movie. They got this premise. We'll have Owen Wilson. This is a newly married couple with Kate Hudson and Matt Dillon. They're the new married couple. And we'll just get Owen Wilson in there. He has to move in the house for some stupid reason. And hijinks will ensue. Zero hijinks. Nothing funny in it. Absolutely just like they forgot to put any jokes in the movie. They forgot to write anything that was even remotely funny. And it made it they were trying to go for a little bit of the Meet the Parents thing, where the guy is distressed about stuff going on, and only he sees like Dupree for what he is, and everyone else is blind to it. And I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. At first, Kate Hudson didn't like Dupree and didn't want Dupree in the house. Then all of a sudden, she just has like a 180. No, we got to keep Dupree in the house. And I don't know. Just dumb. Anyways, can't recommend that one. And another movie I watched, this was for my P, but then I ended up subbing in Pig for the movie. By the way, Frank, who lent me the movie Pig, did not agree with me as well. He actually berated me a little bit. Said I was stupid, but no, he didn't say I was stupid. But we had a little conversation about the plot holes, and he didn't think they were as big a deal as I did. But anyways, so my what was going to be my P movie was Perfect Storm.
I watched that recently.
Another Mark Wahlberg joint, and yeah, I know I remember you watching it recently, and. Yeah, this is a stupid movie too. It's pretty pretty dumb. So this is based on a true story where these fishermen did go out and went to get fish because they live in a capitalistic society and they need money to survive. And there's like the big company man played by Michael Ironside, who is taking a bigger cut than he's supposed to be taking. So then they go out there and they're gonna get like the biggest catch that they can get, and blah blah blah. It's based on a true story where, spoiler alert, the crew does die at the end. And you could tell that this is like big budget Hollywood, who really struggles to make movies that don't have a happy ending. So what they try to do is they put like some sort of positive message, like they kind of force and wedge in there, and to make you not feel so bad that they died. Like everybody who died on the boat was kind of okay with dying, even though they had a lot to lose. Like they build this stuff up, like, Mark Wahlberg has the new wife or the new girlfriend or whatever, and they're going to move in together. And they're going to have this thing. The other guy, it starts hitting on that one girl, and he's got something to lose. And then what's his name?
Oh yeah, that was like the worst case of shoehorning. The one guy who just like picks up the lady at the bar, and it's just like she knows nothing about him, but then she's sitting there like front row at his funeral.
And what the hell's the guy?
Based on like we will go get a drink when you get back.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But they had to give you like some sort of like, and even George Clooney just gives up at the end. He's the captain of the ship. He's got a way to get out of the ship, and he just looks up at Mark Wahlberg like, "I'm going down with the ship." And it's like, "Why are you going down with the ship?" Like, dude,
they just had like nobody knows what happened really. So
exactly,
they
just embellish.
What would be great? Yeah,
embellish. Now, another thing about this movie that it make so it was this, by the way, was scored by the Horn, James Horner, but another thing that didn't make sense in the movie is that a subplot of the film is about these rescue guys. What are they called? Coast Guard guys that I think they were Coast Guard, pretty sure, that tried to go and save them, and then they ended up giving up. And one of the members of their crew had lost their lives. But they created this whole subplot where before they went to go and try and rescue them, they rescued these people who were on a sailboat. And it was like...
Oh, right. The Margot Kidder cameo.
No, it wasn't Margot Kidder. It was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Karen Allen.
Right. Karen Allen. You're right.
Very similar looking. Absolutely understand. I don't know why they got Karen Allen to do that role, because she had 2 lines. Maybe
can we throw water at you on a leaky set for 5 weeks?
But it's just so funny how orchestrated the whole thing, because even though that might be true or whatever, you could tell that they were very nervous about putting these Coast Guard guys into the film and not showing them fail at their attempt at getting thing without showing them having a success as well, right? So it was almost like they wedged that in there to show, like, hey, look, they really tried. They actually just did this thing where they saved these people on the sailboat, and then they had to go and fill up, and they were running out of gas and blah blah blah. Like you could tell that they were, I think, overly sensitive to the whole film. Like they were just afraid to make it a downer film. And it's like, well, why would you pick this as a movie? Why even make this movie? I don't understand it. If you felt like the story was too sad for everybody, you want to make a big budget Hollywood film, and if you thought the story was too sad, then why even make it? Make something else. I don't know. Anyways, there's my rant. Okay, finally, the other film I watched on HD DVD was The Heartbreak Kid with Ben Stiller. Now, this is a Farley Brothers joint. So you got the Farley Brothers directing this. Who you're not a fan of the Farley Brothers?
I'm not a fan of the Farleys, no.
So you don't even like Something About Mary? Something About Mary?
Nah.
You didn't like Dumb and Dumber?
No.
You didn't like
the Jack Black, Gwyneth Paltrow one, Shallow Hal?
Shallow Hal, yeah, you didn't like that one. Well, I am a fan of the Farley Brothers. I do find them funny. Now, I had never seen the original film that this was based on. So I did have to go to the dark web to find me a copy of the original from 1972 starring Charles Grodin, because apparently the movie is in a little bit of, it's having some rights issues when movie companies got bought and sold and whatever, and nobody knows who really owns the film. So it's kind of, I think it got issued on DVD once. So on the dark web, you can find it. But the original film is quite good. It's one of those films that is clever, funny, and not laugh out loud, haha, funny. It's more like you're watching like, oh, okay, that's pretty funny, because it's kind of it's a bit of an anti romantic comedy, where the people, like, one thing in a romantic comedy is that you got to make the people likable, right? You want everybody, you need the couple, you need people invested in the couple, you need them to like both of them, to want to see them get together and be, even if you can make the guy unlikable at the beginning of the film, like When Harry Met Sally, where Billy Crystal was kind of unlikable at the beginning of the film, but then he wins you over with his charm and humor and blah, blah, blah. But in that original film, it's Charles Grodin and I can't remember who else was in that. Oh, and Sybil Shepherd. Nobody is likable in that movie. Everybody is, terrible. And you're watching them get together, and you're not even like, why are these people getting together? And I don't know. It's a really interesting and I think fun film. I liked it. Sarah didn't like it as much, but I enjoyed it. Sarah actually liked this remake of The Heartbreak Kid, which I think has been unfairly trashed a little bit because it doesn't have that same nuance as the original film. But you can't really compare it, I think, to the original film, because the Farrelly brothers just took the concept, the idea, and the title, and kind of did a Farrelly brothers movie with the idea. They put their own sense of humor on it, their own style and everything like that. And I actually enjoyed this remake as well. It's not as clever, but I did laugh out loud at this movie. So I enjoyed The Heartbreak Kid.
I laughed out loud at the Naked Gun trilogy. I just watched those again.
They're different films. Different films, man. It's different style of humor, but still good. Now, it did make me a little nervous because when we put in the movie, they said it had been edited from the theatrical version, and I tried to track down like what the differences are, and it's not a lot of information about this movie out there. So if you know what the differences are between the theatrical version and this, like, I looked online and it said something about an extra scene in the credits that might have been cut out or something. I don't know, but anyways, how much time? How are we doing on time? All right, let me just quickly go through some DVDs we went through. So Sarah's been grabbing DVDs. I've been grabbing an HD DVD, and then she'll grab a DVD the next night because we're trying to go through our collection and weeding out stuff that we had bought, but then we're like, we're not really, like, do we like these movies? Like, why do we have them in our collection? So I think, none of these we are keeping. We're getting rid of all of them. Actually, out of all the movies we watched, we did watch one that we were keeping, and I didn't grab it because it wasn't in the toss pile. There was one movie called The Wave that was actually very good. It's a Norwegian film. And it's a disaster film, and it's a disaster film, like a natural disaster film that's done better than any Hollywood natural disaster film that I've ever seen. It's about basically the small town that lives in the fjords in Norway, and there's mountains all around these fjords, and this town is like, it survives on the tourism thing. Like, that's how it makes all of its money. So it kind of has a little bit of a Jaws vibe, but the Jaws in this film isn't a shark. It is a landslide that is about to occur. And when the landslide comes down into the fjords from the mountains and crashes into the water, if it's big enough, it could create a huge tidal wave. So this comes down. So, the spoiler alert, there is a wave in the wave where there's a landslide, and it creates an 80-foot tidal wave. So it's about everybody trying to get out of the town and all that. I will say that the movie loses a little bit of steam towards the end. And there's one part of the film that doesn't make too much sense, where they have this bomb shelter in this hotel, but it's not big enough for everyone in the hotel. And it's like, well, why even bother building a bomb shelter if you're just going to have it enough room for a few people? Make it for everybody. But anyways.
As for the people in the suites.
Maybe, I don't know.
Pay a little extra for that.
They sent everybody on a bus. They put them on a bus to to drive up the mountain. But anyways, that was excellent. If you ever see The Wave, I've seen it out on Blu-ray a few times too, but we had it on DVD, so I never bothered to buy it. And I thought it was going to be a schlocky film because we read the back and it seemed very like cheesy, but it was actually a really well done film. There were some cheesy moments in it, but you know, it was good.
Oh, I forgot my schlocky film. I watched a movie called Bug from 1975. There's an earthquake and then mutated cockroaches that start fires come out.
That sounds awesome.
It's kind of fun.
How could you forget that? Okay, I'll just quickly mention a couple of things there. We watched this movie, Rachel Getting Married, with what's her face? Who's that person?
Catwoman.
Anne Hathaway. This was like a early film. Like she was in the Princess Diaries, I think, or something.
I've heard that name.
So this is like a movie that like she's supposed to, like she needs to grow up, you know, and not be in the kids stuff anymore. So they kind of throw her into this thing, and I don't know. It's just this. So this movie is about Anne Hathaway's sister who's getting married, and Anne Hathaway has like all these problems and everything with alcohol abuse and that, and her family is like all concerned about her and kind of ignoring the daughter that gets married and blah blah blah. Anyways, this movie just I read a lot of the reviews on Letterboxd where like people who love the movie. They love the fact that it feels like as if you're actually there at these weddings or at the rehearsal dinner or all these stuff. All these moments that are happening in the film. It feels like you're there. And I agree. It does feel like you're there because it is as boring as being at an actual wedding recital dinner or an actual wedding where all the family is getting up and giving speeches. Like, I swear to God, there's about 18 characters in the film. All of them get up and give a full speech. And it just keeps going and going and going. It's like, oh my God. Like, Sarah, we gotta bail on this. But we hung out till the end for some reason. Speaking of comic book actors or actors who later appeared in comic book films, we watched the movie Dahmer, starring Jeremy Renner. That's who you're seeing on the cover.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if that was Jeremy Renner or Tobey Maguire.
It is Jeremy Renner. Okay. A very early role. This is like from 2001 or 2002. Another boring film. It focuses on Jeffrey Dahmer before, like while he was trying to get people in the gay scene and cutting them up and putting them in his fridge and all that stuff. And it just wasn't very interesting. It wasn't very insightful or anything like that. It's mostly him just arguing with this gay guy and whether or not he's going to kill this gay guy or whatever. And I don't know. It was kind of boring. So we're tossing that one. We're actually tossing, this is a classic film, a Criterion Collection film.
Ooh.
We had never heard of it, but the reason why we picked it up is because it's an old film. We love our old movies, and it was a Criterion Collection film, and it's called I Know Where I'm Going. And it stars a bunch of nobodies, and it's directed by a bunch of nobodies, but it's highly regarded as a good film. I think you might need to be British in order to appreciate this film because it is a British movie, and it's about this woman who is it's kind of like The Wicker Man. Have you ever seen The Wicker Man?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of the same premise as The Wicker Man, where this woman, she's trying to get to one of the Scotland Islands because her husband, it's an arranged marriage. This is in the 40s. I think a part of the charm of this movie too is that they filmed it during World War II in Britain, which it was a big accomplishment, even though it was filmed mostly in the northern part. You know, there wasn't a lot of good things happening in England at that time. So I think that's part of the charm of the film, but I don't know. I just kind of lost it over time. But she's trying to get to the Scottish island. She's been arranged to be married to a well-to-do person. She can't get there because there's too much fog and bad weather. She can't get to this island. Of course, she runs into the guy on the back cover who's all charming, but he's on the mainland and he's not well-to-do and all that. And he ends up charming the pants off of her. And will they get together or not? It's the old romantic comedy trope, but there's not much comedy in it. It's a very British
Mhm.
film, very British. There's my mom watches a show called All Creatures Great and Small, which is like a show from the 70s, and it's like I like Monty Python, kind of Basil Fawlty, that kind of stuff. Or it's a very stuffy British show that my mom likes. Like she likes that kind, and that's what this reminded me of. Very stuffy British.
I don't know what's going on with those Criterion collections of who chooses what movies to put out there. Because sometimes, like the very first DVD I ever bought was RoboCop, the Criterion collection
Really?
DVD. And then, yeah, half the time I look through their stuff, it's you come across films like that where like I've never heard of this. What is it? Some kind of artsy film, or
Yeah,
I don't know. They just seem to be a little all over the place with
they
what they
do.
consider to be like important cinema. I don't know.
Yeah, well, basically their main goal is to take films that might be lost over time and get them put onto kind of like Kino Lorber or a bunch of Arrow films. That's their thing, is to get film, but they also get big Hollywood budget films like
Yeah.
RoboCop, and they put like little extras and stuff like that. But okay, this movie called Missing in America with Danny Glover, and you see what's his face back there, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
And then you got Linda Hamilton. And then you got the guy who from Good Night and Good Luck, whatever his name is. I can never remember his name. Anyway, it's not very good. It's about these Vietnam vets who, what did they do? They were in Vietnam like 20 years ago. Now they're kind of like living out in the woods in the Washington area, which anytime you see a movie that takes place in the Washington State with all the big trees and the mountains and all that, it's filmed in Vancouver. 100% filmed in Vancouver every time. They never shoot a movie in Washington State. They always go to Vancouver and just say they're in Washington State. Anyways, all the Vietnam flashback scenes, they're obviously in a marsh in British Columbia somewhere. They're not in Vietnam because there's mountains in the back. And a lot of Canadian actors kind of pop up as extras. So it's kind of fun to spot the Canadian actor and, oh, where's that guy from? I know that Canadian actor, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a very good film. It was a very sad film at times. But, not worth the time.
Missing in America.
Missing in America. The original title of the film was called The Woodcutter, which makes more sense when you watch the movie. And we know that because we did watch some the outtakes of the film, which unfortunately weren't very funny. But on the clacker there, it said The Woodcutter. I'm like, that would have been a better title. It made more sense. Oh yeah, last night we watched another dumb movie called Flight Plan with Jodie Foster.
I haven't seen that one, but I think I know what happens in that. That's the one where like her kid goes missing.
So she's on a plane and her kid goes missing, and it is just an absurd film. Like I don't even know how to talk about it. It's just so like the plot is just so stupid. It makes the lengths that people will go to in movies to get $50 million makes no sense. Like there are easier
when
ways.
It seems like they're spending so much money to get that money. They obviously have some money to begin with.
Not necessarily spending money, but like just relying on things to happen a certain way. So, do you want me to tell you the movie, or are you planning on watching it?
Well, I do remember hearing about that, and I do believe that there was a second airplane.
No, a flight plan.
No? Okay, maybe I don't know this one then.
Okay, so no, like she's an engineer who designed I think it's the Boeing 747 that's on. Big plane. She's one of the engineers. And her husband dies. So she puts her husband in a casket. They bring the casket on the plane. She goes on the plane. Her daughter goes on the plane. Everybody's on the plane. And they're heading back to America. They're in Germany or some European country. I can't remember which. They're flying back to America. All of a sudden, she falls asleep. All of a sudden, her daughter goes missing. And she's like, oh, her daughter's missing. She's getting everybody worked up, trying to find her daughter on the plane. And everyone's like, she could not have gone far, blah, 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 blah. And then they start finding out, well, actually, your daughter is not on the boarding list. Did she even come onto the plane? Absolutely. She was on the plane. She was on here with her. Has anyone seen her daughter? Like, does anyone that worked there? Nobody remembers seeing the daughter or anything like that. And then, as the movie progresses, it starts revealing what really is happening. And there is this air marshal. And if you want to watch Flight Plan, I'm going to spoil everything right now. So there's this air marshal played by Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgård guys. And he actually kidnaps her daughter and hides her away in the nose of the plane, tucks her away somewhere, and just starts gaslighting Jodie Foster into believing that her daughter doesn't actually died, as her husband died. And none of it makes any sort of sense. And basically his plan was to oh my God, this so it was to take Jodie Foster's daughter, hide her, so that he could convince the pilot that Jodie Foster was actually pretending that her daughter was kidnapped or stolen or missing or whatever, so she can hijack $50 million from, I'm not sure where she was getting the $50 million from, because I was kind of checking out of the film at that point. But like, it just didn't make any sense. And he needed Jodie Foster because Jodie Foster's an engineer and she knows the plane, so she would know where to put the bomb. She would know where, she would know all the lingo and stuff like that. So he could convince the pilot more easily. Like if it was just any woman that was on the plane that was doing this, well, the pilot would have all sorts of questions, but she's an engineer, so the pilot's not going to ask too many questions. And it just didn't make any sense, because this air marshal played by Skarsgård is banking on, so he turns out that he killed her husband in order to get the ball rolling on all this. So he's banking on Jodie Foster actually taking the body, where he hid the bombs in the casket, actually taking the body back to America. Her going back to America, taking her daughter to go back to America, her falling asleep on the plane, her daughter falling asleep on the plane. Like, none of this plan makes any sense. Nothing makes sense. And it's also, he could get, he tells the pilot, like, he's kind of talking to the pilot and then talking to Jodie Foster, and then he go and talk to the pilot, and he doesn't want them to talk to each other because the gig's up if they talk to each other. And I don't know. The whole thing makes and the movie is just like doesn't even understand what, because eventually Jodie Foster just walks up to the pilot and starts talking to him, and I don't know. The whole thing was just dumb. Anyways,
don't you put a bomb anywhere on a plane and it would do something?
Well, where to hide it, where they can't find it.
Oh, where to hide it? Okay.
The whole thing just didn't make sense. It was all stupid. It was so dumb.
He was able to hide a girl in the nose of the airplane.
Anyways, Kyle's here.
A bomb. Hey, Kyle. We didn't talk about Star Trek. Oh.
I got no Star Trek to talk about.
I didn't pick up anything. I didn't watch anything.
No, me neither. Okay, one final thing before we wrap up. I just want to show. So remember I said I went with Frank to Giant Tiger, and he picked up those Puppet Master movies.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I picked up a movie as well. Now, we were flipping through the movies, and I'm telling Frank, hey, if you see any Burt Reynolds, pick it up, because I might not have it. He's like, okay, and he's flipping through. And then Sarah was there too. And I said, Sarah, if you see any Burt Reynolds, grab that for me. So I'm flipping through, and I'm taking a little longer. And they're like, come on, let's go, Kevin, let's go. And I'm like, well, I just want to check. Oh, I already checked there. There's no Burt Reynolds there. And I'm like, all right, but I got it. I got my Burt Reynolds sense going. And I could feel that there was a Burt Reynolds movie in there. And lo and behold, they missed it. I found it. They missed it. A movie I don't even have. Now you have to have an eagle eye to spot this. This is not an easy find. This is not easy to find, because this movie is in a 20 movie action collection.
Hey,
Now,
you
if
got
you just
Last
look at that,
Action Hero there.
you just look at that, you think there's no Burt Reynolds in there, right? You can't.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, you got
Hmm.
Schwarzenegger, you got Dolph, two
Yeah.
times Dolph,
Yeah, you
Jamie
got Jean-Claude
Foxx.
Van
Yeah,
Damme. You
like, you
got that.
know,
That's Sam Jackson.
where's Burt? Well, you have to have an eagle eye because I saw him. He was right there, right there. I'm like, there's Burt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all busy looking at the beautiful John Travolta and Samuel Jackson. That's where their eyes go. But my eyes went right there. So I got
So what's
myself.
the movie?
The movie is called Seamus, and I don't have it.
Seamus.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, there is enough material in this 20 movie collection to almost do your very own ABC challenge with just in this.
Okay.
There's 20
Yeah.
movies, and there's 20 movies in here, and I haven't seen a single one of them. I have never seen any of these movies.
Really? You've never seen Last Action Hero?
I've never seen it. The only thing I know about Last Action Hero is the references from Simpsons, magic ticket, my
Okay.
ass, McBain. That's
Yeah.
all I know. I know there's a magic ticket in the movie that sounds like it's stupid. Even Chief Wiggum thought it was stupid. So,
Hey, that's a what's his face? John McTiernan film.
it is, yeah. I've never seen it, so it might be good. I don't know.
No, it's not good. I mean, there are parts of it that are well directed, but the story is just so, I don't know.
Okay.
To be fair, I haven't seen it in a while, but I think every time I try to watch it, like maybe this time I'll like it. Yeah.
So this collection has 20 movies on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 discs. So we got 4 movies on each disc. Hopefully they are dual layered, so they're at least of some quality. But are you ready for the list of movies on this 20 movie collection?
Okay, well, yeah, go ahead.
So the first one, Last Action Hero, we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Universal Soldier: The Return.
Okay.
I haven't seen Universal Soldier yet, so I'm gonna have to watch that before I watch The Return.
I did watch that once.
We have a movie called The Russian Specialist from 2005. I don't know
idea.
that.
Is that the Dolph Lundgren one?
It might be.
One of his straight to DVD joints.
It might be. We got Into the Sun. A lot of these are from 2005. Another one called The Stone Killer, which might be. There's a Sean Connery film back here that looks a little old, so that might be it. From 1973. We got Silent Rage from 1982. No. Seamus, the Burt Reynolds classic from 1972. I'm assuming it's a classic. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
The Anderson tapes from 1971.
Nope.
Attack Force.
Oh, that sounds great.
From 2008. The Point Men from 2001. These are this is Tubi trash. Mm-hmm. The Hunt for Eagle 1 from 2006.
No.
So we got ourselves Walking Tall, Lone Justice. So if you this is from 2007. So if you recall, the Walking Tall movies? Do you remember?
I know of them, but I've never seen one.
So there was a series of Walking Tall movies from the 70s starring Joe Don Baker. And he was basically, Joe Don Baker is a big guy, and he would carry like a big piece of lumber, like a big 2x4.
Like a 2x4, yeah.
Yeah, and he would just like swing it around and hit people. And it was an action series. And then they brought it back in the early 2000s with The Rock. The Rock was playing the Joe Don Baker. But I think
Kevin Sorbo?
Well, that's where I'm going, because I have Walking Tall, Lone Justice. Mm-hmm. It's not even good enough to have The Rock in it. They went to the Sorbo. They got Sorbo on there. Isn't Attack? Derek's asking, is Attack Force the one Josh told me about and I watched? I'm not sure. It's
Attack
Force is Steven Seagal. Okay, well, I'm sure it's
that's
great.
One of those Steven Seagal straight to video.
We got I do remember when this movie came out, SWAT, with Samuel L. Jackson and
Yeah, I remember the trailer.
yeah,
I've never seen it, but
me neither.
Colin Farrell.
A movie called Basic from 2003. Maximum Risk from 1996. That sounds good.
Maximum Risk, is that the Oh no, I'm thinking of Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive would be awesome, but it's not action. The movie Stealth, which I do remember, that's a Jamie Foxx film that came out like right after
That's with
Ray.
the AI airplanes, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I haven't seen any of these. The Pact of Silence from 2003. We have In the Cut, the unrated director's cut. The Quiet
No.
from
There's a few.
2008 and Trapped from 2002. So this, I think Trapped looks more like a thriller. I think this is Trapped with the two ladies there. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I know Last Action Hero is the only one I've seen.
So this should be some good watching here. Lots of hours of entertainment, you know. If each
Quality
movie,
entertainment.
if each movie is around 2 hours, 90 minutes, you might get 40 hours of entertainment out of that.
And what'd you pay for that?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I should have kept the sticker. I think it might have been 10. It might have been $9.99 or $5.99. That's usually what they market there. I didn't pay $20 for it or anything like that. Ooh, Stealth was full of logicals. That sounds like a good times.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like good times. And they're probably all VHS rips. They might be. Who knows? They're all old enough. I don't think there's a movie past the VHS era on here. So there you go. So tune in to future episodes of Retro Fandango. We'll get you an Action 20 movie collection update in the upcoming episodes. First,
well, I'm sure you're going to watch the Burt Reynolds one first.
That's got to go first, and then I'll go in order. I got to jump right to Seamus, and then it'll be Last Action Hero. I got to watch the first Universal Soldier before I watch the sequel. So there might be some road bumps in the way. And it looks like my food is ready in 10 minutes.
Oh boy, what you having?
Sarah's making mac and cheese.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it. That's good fun episode.
Beans.
Yeah. It's good to talk to you again. Man, it was like 3
I didn't
weeks.
even get to do my stories. I had stories for all those titles. I did the Star Wars one.
Yeah. And you did Vox. I guess you did back.
I talked about my bad back. I didn't talk about going bowling.
Oh, okay. Well, we got 10 minutes. Can you tell the story?
10 minutes.
Do it.
I can do a super condensed version. I went bowling for the first time in like 10 years.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm so glad we centered the title around that story. That is epic.
I don't know. Do you ever go bowling?
I haven't been bowling in probably longer than 10 years. Probably about 20 years. I've done Wii bowling a lot.
Oh yeah, Wii bowling's awesome.
We talked about it. We talk about, like, my group of friends there, the D&D guys and all that. We talk about bowling, and we made plans to go bowling, but we actually never have actually done the bowling. Yeah,
it's one of the. It's probably similar. Like, we've mentioned it a couple times. Like, hey, we should go bowling someday. So finally, like, all right, let's go. We haven't been in a long time. So we get there and we sign up for it. And keep in mind, like, really, like 20 plus years ago is when I was doing a lot of my bowling. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
The kids like the bowling.
Kids, yeah. So I was like, okay, bowling. That's, pay a couple of bucks. You throw some balls around. It's fun stuff. 2 adults, 2 children, and rental shoes to play 3 games. And they give you a little discount, like if you bowl 3 games. What should that cost you?
Oh God, everything's so expensive now. I think that's part of the reason why we actually never did end up going bowling, because it was too expensive, and I think we just threw on the Wii and ended up playing Wii bowling.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. Obviously, it's been a long time, so they're gonna raise the prices, whatever. But I'm figuring like, all right, 4 people to play a couple games, maybe we're gonna drop like $50, something like that.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
like $80.
Derek got it right away. Probably like 80
Oh, look
bucks.
at that!
Look
Look
at
at
that.
that!
Wow. $80
What's
for
going on?
3 games of bowling.
For 3 games of bowling, plus, I don't remember. Did you always have to pay for rental shoes? I thought that was kind of like included in the thing, but some people bring their own. I guess you have to pay for it. The
Why would
shoes
you
they
have
have
to?
were too small for me because they didn't have my size. So I'm bowling in a pair of shoes that's like a centimeter too small.
Yeah, I agree.
Shoes are a
Derek's
scam, absolutely.
rip-offs shoes are a scam. Yeah, I agree because if you can't bowl without the bowling shoes.
Right. But
So
the pro leaguers, people bring their own stuff. They got their own ball, their shoes, whatever. But for the
mm,
average person, you're gonna use their shoes. I don't remember what it was specifically, what you had to pay for the shoes and
yeah,
what was the cost of the actual bowling or whatever.
always been a scam. Yeah, you know what? Actually, come to think of it, my parents did have bowling shoes back in the day, so they might have charged for rental back in the day. I can't.
Yeah.
There's a great episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry uh, goes bowling, and the guy behind the counter gives his shoes to the wrong person, and
Mhm.
and the person liked his shoes so much that he ended up stealing Larry's shoes. So Larry has to like camp out at the bowling alley to see if the guy comes back so he can get his shoes back. It was good times.
I know it was fun though. I kind of expected what I was complaining about with my back. That's what I thought was going to happen after going bowling for the first time without stretching or warming up or anything. But surprisingly, it wasn't my back or my arms; it was my legs, like
Oh,
the front of my thighs just started aching.
so yeah,
Overcharged for paintballs.
Sarah confirms that you do. They did pay for rental shoes back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure I did, but it was like it wasn't like a buck, something cheap.
I
I
don't
don't know,
remember. Yeah. It was
eighty
probably much
dollars. I don't
cheaper.
know.
Yeah, yeah. $80. That seems ridiculous. I think I remember back in the college days it was $20. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And
To
we
to
would
bowl a few games and get the shoes.
yeah, and we would split it, So we would always want to go with 4 guys so we could just split it like $5 each instead of splitting it 3 ways because then $20
Right,
split 3 ways is they got to do change and who wants to do that? So,
right,
yeah.
right. I don't know. It was fun though. I'll go back again sometime when I save up $80.
Yeah. So you would even at that inflated price you would recommend going bowling.
Well, I enjoyed it. It's just yeah, it's not the kind of thing like, wow, we're gonna go every weekend and then
Right.
drop that kind of coin.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ralph and Ed Norton would always go bowling all the time, play
They would, yeah.
pool.
Yeah. I
Sounds fun.
remember our bowling alley had video games in it too and pool tables and it
Oh yeah, yeah. There
was
used to
quite the
be a
hang.
lot of cool stuff you can do in
You
there.
could get beer and eat pizza and yeah.
This place was a little sparse, but it was nice enough. And if I remember right, I bowled my first game. I got about a 70 something. Then I got an 80 something. And then I hit the big numbers in the last one. I got I think like a 140 or something like that.
Are you playing you must be playing the 6-pin then, right? Or is that a
10-pin bowling.
oh yeah, sorry. I
Is
think
there a
six
6-pin?
I was just yeah. I think 6-pin is a Canadian thing. There's like 6-pin bowling.
Really?
Yeah, where it's only 6 pins and you use a smaller ball. And if you bring your kids, like the kids love it because they can, they're
Knock
not
stuff down.
yeah 5
Yeah, I've
pin.
never heard of that.
Maybe it's 5-pin. I might be wrong with the 6 5-pin bowling. So all right, everyone, yeah, all the Canadians are calling up 5-pin.
Oh, I know
Right,
years
I'm not a
ago,
bowling
like
expert.
probably about 10 years ago, we took our kid bowling, and then you could do the bumpers. You put those bumper
Yeah,
guards up so you
yeah,
can't get gutter balls.
yeah.
But no, we went all in, and it's fun.
So your kids did not use the bumpers. They went.
No, no, no. I
Yeah.
told him, you get a strike, you get a strike. That's it.
We're like
Sorry, a gutter ball.
you were like
On the court.
what's his face in that that movie Boyhood. What's his name? The guy that was in Boyhood. Him and his son got into a big argument because the son wanted to put up the bumpers because he wanted to have fun. He just wanted to throw the ball down there, and dad was like, "No, you can't. You're not allowed to do that. That's cheating."
That's right. If you're gonna throw, you throw.
All right. Look at this. Everyone loved 5-pin. It was popular in the 70s and 80s. And Derek's mom loves the 5-pin. Your fingers don't go into the ball. That's right. It's around. It's around. Yeah. When you're playing 5-pin, you want to cup the ball. You don't want to.
I noticed some people doing that. We had some obnoxious teenagers next to us
Cupping
while we were
balls?
bowling, and yeah, they were all cupping their balls constantly. They would hold it in such a way, and then try to put that super spin on it.
Oh yeah.
And half the time they're just throwing it right into the gutter. But
look at this. Sarka Sim was in a 5-pin league for a year when she was 10.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I'm still learning
bowling
stuff.
league.
Wow.
Oh, I wish they had that at schools.
Yeah, that'd be something.
That'd be fun.
Imagine a bowling course where you get credit since you go bowling.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Man. That's it. Oh, Sarah said she sucked. Hopefully just said bowling. All right. That's it. Thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks Derek. Thanks Sarah. Thanks Josh, Creepy Josh. We had Duke. We had Rocket Sauce. We had Kyle. It's like getting to be the end of Romper Room. And we had Deke. All in there. So that was good. Good times. Had fun. Thanks again for the HD DVDs, Creepy Josh, and the family collection edition, the Columbia TriStar Family Collection edition of Ghostbusters on VHS.
Nice condition too.
Yeah, very nice. It's got the gold on there, so you know.
I hate when you find those tapes and like sometimes they would be a little crushed.
Oh yeah, because like people would just stack stuff on top of them. Man. And the cassette is in. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not an expert on the thing, but it's like printed right on there. I don't know if that's better than a label. Doesn't have anything there though.
Well, it's permanent.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's better or not, but the VHS Romper Room is also Canadian. No, you had Romper Room, right?
I don't know if it was Canadian or what, but yeah, it played in the US.
Yeah, like there was a lot of local stations would do their own version of Romper Room all over Canada and the US. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't know.
Gotcha.
All right, Sarah says, let's eat. So I better go. It's all caps. And all caps, let's eat.
Not even time for punctuation there.
No, let's eat. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And stream.